We are live. Welcome to In the Paint. Ziggy and ERB. John, formerly ERB. Explain that to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm contemplating a lot right now, trying to see where I want to head the channel, whether I want to still be called ERB. Nobody really pays attention to the eating. Nobody really pays attention to the betting. I gained a lot of subscribers over the years with ripping, and honestly, it's got me wondering whether I want to segregate the channels or just keep it how it is. So, yeah, I like to have a little fun once in a while. So sometimes I'll keep it a little bit edgy as far as where my head is at. But right now, I'm in eating mode. Honestly, I'm in eating mode. I got two contests coming up. Got one coming up Friday over in Newcastle. It should be a good time. I'm trying to get prepared for it. And if you guys are Indiana residents or you're in the area going to the 500, come on out. It'll be a great time. Have a good bunch of eaters there. Probably a world record set. So that'll be fun.
This is the hot dogs too, right? Is that this week?
Well, this one's the donut holes. This is one I did last year. This is Jack's Donut Holes, of all things. I don't want to jinx, I don't really like the donut holes, honestly. They're very, very strong flavor. They got a lot of sugar on them. They're yeast donuts. They go down okay, but oh man, I always struggle near the end of that contest, as I think everybody does. So
yeah. What's the record for something like that?
Last year, Jeff Esper said it. He had 344.
Wow. That's a lot, actually.
That is a lot. I got
that's a lot.
500, and I thought I was doing okay. I was nowhere near the top, but
yeah,
I'm putting in a good month worth of effort here, trying to get to. I'm really confident I'm gonna break the century mark this Friday. So
how much time did it give you? How much time for the
8 minutes?
8 minutes.
Yeah, I'll be through the first two boxes in about 90 seconds. It's what happens after that is anybody's guess. I'm trying to get down to my playing weight again. Try to work out extra every freaking day. Drop a few pounds going into that contest and prep for it. So yeah.
I struggle with my weight as it is. I don't think I could ever be in an eating contest. I mean, I did in college. I did a jalapeno contest and won. I did some beer contests and stuff like that. But if I did it now, it would be bad. I love donuts. I love training.
Donuts. I love donut holes. Trust me.
But there's no way I could eat that many. I'm thinking to myself, I remember taking out 24, 30, 40, donut holes. But 300? Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, last year I think I did 95, and
that's a lot.
I did 90 the year before, or 89, something like that. So I did a little bit better last year, but I'm really confident. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna go in with an open mind, and I still got 3 days to work out, and I got 3 days to prep capacity. But this is a capacity contest. This is testing what you can get, and I think I have a decent shot to cash. So I'm hopeful on this one.
Cool.
I really am.
Cool. And what's after that one? What's the next food item?
Nathan's qualifier in Cleveland on June 6th. So
that'd be cool too, right? Wouldn't it be nice to qualify? Is that something you feel good about, or?
The bar is set so high this year. The bar already is set at about 30 hot dogs and buns. I was confident going in I could get to 20. I was like, I can get to 20, 21. 25 for me would be pushing it, but I think anything over 30 for me is going to be a real stretch. But you can't ever say, I give up, right? You got to just keep pressing, and it's going to come down to getting a little bit of weight off, getting capacity where it needs to be, and going in extremely with a good caloric demand, and hopefully I can put up a really good number that I'm happy with. Anything better than last time, I'll be happy with. But the one sour note, I have a coworker that is on the female side of the aisle now. Mm-hmm. I inspired her to try out for the female Nathan's qualifier
Mhm.
and it looks like she might actually go.
That's
So
cool.
I would be like, it would suck if she
If
went
she
and I
makes it.
didn't. She makes it and I didn't, and I'm the reason she got to go there. I'd be like, oh well. You know
You
what?
could be like the person who inspired Michael Jordan, the guy who beat him out for the spot, right? And then he ends up coming back and becoming the greatest of all time. Somebody had to
Yeah.
push that person. She could
I,
become the greatest.
one step at a time. I think she's newly married, so I don't think her husband would be really enjoying
Competitive
if
eating.
she goes in and says, I want to be a competitive eater." He'd
Yeah,
probably be like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this again?"
it's one of those sports you find on the Ocho. You just don't find on the regular ESPN.
Yeah, well, it. She loves hot dogs. She says, "Who doesn't love a great hot dog?" And I coached her up that week going into the qualifier, and she did really well for the female side. I think she's got a really good shot to get there as a wild card. So
Cool.
I'm hopeful that I have a coworker get there. But yeah, enough about eating. We're here to talk cards. I
Let's talk
think
cards. So Pacers. I mean, that's hot right now, right? Aren't they even playing right now?
they are. Yeah, I was following the game. I did expect the Celtics to win Game 1 with that big layoff that they have. The last time I checked, I think the Pacers were down 10. It was now they're down 7. No, actually, wait. It just keeps updating. It's almost tied at halftime.
See, I'll tell you,
So
that spread was way off. It was like 14-point spread. I'm like, that I don't know. I did not bet that game, but I would have taken the Pacers in the spread. I think they
yeah,
could win the first game because I think they're coming off more of emotional, where the Celtics have been just kind of sitting around waiting, expecting to win. I also, as much as I hate to say it, I think the Celtics will win in 6. I would like to see them not, but
I think you're right. I, I think Indiana's going to have a hard time unless another injury happens for the Celtics. They can't keep getting lucky like this with injuries to the top players on the other team. I know that happened to the Warriors back when the
yep.
Warriors went to the finals the first time, where they got Kawhi out of the first series, and then they ended up with I forget who it was, but it was somebody was out in the second round too, and then the next
They
thing you
lost
know,
Clay and KD.
they're in
Yeah,
the Western Conference Finals, and they made it there against I think it was the Trailblazers at the time, and it was just a perfect storm to get them to the finals. If Tatum or Brown goes out, or Drew Holiday, there's a chance the Pacers could still put up a fight in this series. And they've got nothing to lose. They're playing with
yeah.
house money all the way. They're like the Heat last year. They're the team of destiny, the team that nobody wants to play, the team that definitely surprised a ton of people, including me. I did expect them to make it past the Bucks, but I didn't expect them to make it past the Knicks. But who saw that last game where you had OG Anunoby out, Jalen Brunson out, a bunch of other guys were banged up. They were super banged up. Eventually, it just catches up to you. So, not surprised when that happened to see them make it
fun
past
just to
that.
see all the youth, though. It really is. It's exciting to see that team being led by Halliburton, to see Turner, Miles Turner doing really well. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm hopeful they take it to 6. I expect it's going to be the Celtics. But it's been fun. The playoffs, I love the playoffs too. I really like playoff basketball so much more than the regular season.
It's been a fun playoff to watch. I watched the
Yeah.
Mavericks the other night when they played the OKC. I was rooting for the Mavs all the way. I know people that I work with hate Luka Doncic. They hate Kyrie Irving, but I do not like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm a De'Aaron Fox guy, and Shai is the anti-De'Aaron Fox, and I can't root for that guy. And I'd not root for Halliburton for the same reason. I call him crazy, but
I thought they would have come out.
I
I thought they were going to win that series, honestly, in the beginning. And it did show you how important experience is in the playoffs. I mean, it really is a brutal, long series. And even now, I mean, with the Pacers, the Nuggets game last night, that was awesome, man. I could not believe they gave up that lead. I cannot believe that Anthony Edwards he was not like he carried 40 points in that game either. I think it's, less than 20 something, I think. So it was.
He didn't have a great game.
Yeah,
but
and they won.
Defensively, in the second half, to hold the Nuggets to 37 points,
yeah,
that's just crazy. to think that this team had 53 points at halftime. All they had to do was score about 50 more, and they would have won the game.
Yep.
And then they scored 37.
It was just an amazing series, just going back and forth, back and forth. And now, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Wolves are favored.
I think they are because they have the home court advantage. I think they were the number 3 seed going in. I think the Mavericks are going to win. I get why people would pick Minnesota. I go either way on that one, but I think experience is going to matter. And
how important is coaching? Did coaching have any impact so far? And because I'm thinking to myself, did coaching have anything to do with that turnaround for the Wolves yesterday at halftime? Did the coach make a difference? Did the players make a difference? I mean, that's impressive. You're down by 15 at halftime on the road, Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. And then I don't know if you've been following, right? The Blez brothers, they bet on that game, and now apparently the guy bet $100,000 on the Wolves last night. Woo. And then they watched them win, and then he bet $300,000 on the Wolves to win the series
for this coming one.
Yeah, against the Dallas.
Wow, that's ballsy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I don't have that kind of cash to do that. I mean, that's a little bit.
I wouldn't bet $30 on them right now to win the series.
I probably wouldn't either.
And I have $30.
$10.
That I just it's going to be an interesting series.
It certainly is interesting to see how this playoffs played out. You didn't have the chalk get all the way to the conference finals. You didn't have the 1-2 play the 1-2.
Yep.
You had the one Celtics. The one constant was they were too good, and the Cavs weren't that great. And the Sixers, I think they played the Sixers, right? They weren't that great. Actually, no, they didn't.
They didn't play the Sixers. They played.
No, they didn't play the Sixers.
The Sixers suck, though. The Sixers way underplayed, in my opinion, this season.
Yeah, that's right. They played the Heat because they were the number 1 seed versus number 8, and the Heat didn't have Jimmy Butler, so that wasn't going to be a team of destiny this year. If the Celtics don't get past the Pacers, people are going to start to doubt Jason Tatum. They're going to say that guy needs another piece. Don't go out and trade for De'Aaron Fox, please. Don't do that. Or maybe you want to join the Kings.
I don't think Tatum's like anything like the other players. I really don't. I mean, even if you look at Anthony Edwards, he has that he take the ball, give me the damn ball type of mentality at the end. Same with Shai. Same with Luka. You want the ball if you're cheering for those teams, you're cheering for them. If you're a Celtics fan and you have 2 points, you're down by 2, you're not looking going, give the ball to Tatum, he's going to win it for us. Like, oh shit, Tatum has the ball. So I just don't think he's it. I really don't. And I'll say this too. I'm not a Celtics fan. I don't want to see them. They have bought a very healthy roster of a lot of people who want to win a ring. I'm totally pulling for the West. Whoever wins in the West, I'll be pulling for.
One other thing that's interesting, if the Pacers do end up winning the series, they've really taken it to the 2 teams that traded them assets in some way, shape, or form down the stretch. The Knicks gave the Pacers Obi Toppin, and the Celtics gave them Aaron Nesmith. Both guys are impact players.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but they're both impact players on the Pacers now, and the Knicks and the Celtics just cast those guys away. So that's great to see when guys get another chance and have a chance to be better than they were on the team they came from and be impactful players. You'll always love to see that.
Well, again, people forget that, again, in the NBA, the worst player is still an elite athlete. A lot of it is, timing, talent, territory. If you're in the right place with the right talent and the right timing going together, you can play, out of your mind. So that's what's exciting, like I said, about, stuff like this. And you're bringing it back to cards. It's fun to watch cards and the values of people in cards. I've always played basketball that I go capturing rookies, and then I wait for a season like this to sell them off. I never go buying based on the activity. Like, I'm not going to go buy Edwards. I'm not going to go buy this. But I'm also listening to a lot of people talk about how in the offseason they're going to buy these people. And I still think that's kind of weird too. Like, I'd rather buy when they're rookies that rookie year, go chase a bunch of their cards that you want, stash them away, and then wait 2 or 3 years for them to have these moments. Yeah. But there's a lot of fun moments going on right now in the playoffs.
No doubt. I think it's really good to see that everybody that held on to 2020, 2021 wax is getting paid off right now. I wish I would have kept all the stuff I had. I kind of gave up on it and I ripped it all. I don't have any left. But I got a lot of Halliburton, a lot of Edwards, and a lot of LaMelo Ball out of the boxes. And I'm happy to have them because I'm sending a bunch into grade. And I have probably a stack of 25 Anthony Edwards rookie cards. I'm probably going to keep most of them. I did sell a couple that I had graded, but
When is Edwards? He's 21? 2021?
He was a 2020, 2021 draft class.
And Halliburton is as well?
Halliburton was the same draft class, yeah, and Obi Toppin was as well, and Aaron Naismith. So,
and it was and the first pick or the hype pick was LaMelo. That's everybody chased that year, right?
It was the LaMelo. Yeah, everybody was chasing him. Everybody wanted James Wiseman too. Remember him?
Yep. Yep, I did.
Yeah. How crazy times change, right? How
but that's again why I love basketball, because basketball, like I said, it's like it's a fruit. You got to wait for it to ripen. You can't rush.
And never give up on it either, right? Never give. Like, how many people probably gave up on Kyrie Irving, saying he'll never win another title? What if he does? That's good for his legacy long term. He's a great player. Yeah, he sure had missed a lot of time in there, but he's still a great player, a great talent, and I would want him on a team down the stretch to make a quick clutch bucket because he still does it. He's still got it.
I would say he actually, in my opinion, has been more important to Dallas in his assists and his patience and his maturity than anything else in the series. I mean, he was killing the other team in just his how to slow the ball down, how to get offensive rebounds at the right time, hit threes at the right time. I mean, when the momentum was going the other way, he was key, in my opinion. Key.
He definitely was key down the stretch. I think the pickup of PJ Washington was key. The maturity out of the draft class when they had Derek Lively that they had drafted, that was great.
Oh my God, he was a beast too on the boards. I could not believe it. The man can't shoot. They were hacking him to death, which I thought was amazing. But
I know. Yeah,
loved it.
And it's great to see. Like I said, some people that held on to 2020 wax. Either you're selling it right now or you're opening it, and you're having a hell of a lot of fun.
I'm opening this mega box right now.
And yeah, I mean, I wish I had more of it. I wish I would have bought more of it. I thought about it, honestly. I'm being honest here. I thought about buying some in February, right around the All-Star break, because I just thought to myself, that is just way too cheap. It's it can't go any lower.
What were you referring to? Like what product? Prism or was it Optic or what?
Optic, yeah. I saw a case of Optic on Blowout for like $3.99, and it was the Optic. And I thought that's $20 a box. That's dirt cheap. And you got Edwards and you've got Halliburton and Ball and other. You got a lot of good guys in there now.
I just feel though
that product matured really well.
Optic like Mosaic that I opened though. Their retail though was weak, man. I don't remember them having numbered cards in them. It was just basically you're chasing hollows, and.
Yeah, I wish I had some left. Like I said, I opened most of it around.
Which again, converse now. I mean now. So let's talk about currently. I am convinced that Panini something changed this year where now retail's coming out before hobby, and Panini doesn't give a shit, right? Like they either told them go ahead and do it, or they just don't give a shit. But there's so much retail out, and the retail stuff is so rich. It has, you see all the numbered hits coming in select. I mean, I can't wait. And Optic, when Optic comes out, I'm assuming there's gonna be numbered fucking hits in Optic, golds in Optic. There are gold cards in select that are selling for $10,000, $15,000. It is crazy.
It is crazy to think that we went from the doldrums of 2021 and 2022. And even 2023 with Panini wax, and it was bad. It was really bad. And now it's so juiced that it's hard not to buy it, and it's hard not to rip it, and it's fun. So, I mean, I did okay. I did 4 mega boxes. I did okay. I think I ended up with 3 numbered cards, 3 Wembies, one of them parallel. I did okay.
You're gonna grade the Wembies, I assume.
I'm gonna grade the Wembies. I already sent them off to PSA. I sent one of the other parallels. It was a Sasha Vezenkov purple color match and jersey match out of 99 courtside. He was the rookie for the Kings last year, even though he didn't have a great season, but still, it's like the perfect card. Purple, numbered, number match, and it's a courtside. So what's not to love about that?
So I want to say, I feel like as we do compliment how wonderful retail is because of all the juicy hits, I also feel like the gorilla sitting in the cage, getting fed bananas, and going, man, these are really sweet. Because I realize there's no goddamn autos anymore. Like
Oh
Panini, of
yeah,
course they're juicing it. They're giving us a great product because they're really it's shit. Let's be brutally honest. That Panini has convinced us that a refractor that's shiny, numbered to 10, that they can do 1,000 times is valuable. Where before they used to be autographs. They don't have anymore. We don't care. That's just what's happened. I feel like a fool. I feel like a gorilla who's just been fed bananas like, oh, this is really sweet.
You're spot on there though, because one thing I was going to bring up, I got my $60 free credit from Fanatics Live because of a PSA member, and I finally used $50 of it.
Nice.
And I bought the Kings in a couple of breaks. I bought the Kings in a 4-box Crown Royale break. Did manage to get a King on the very, very last card. I think it was the only one out of 4 boxes. It was a Colby Jones rookie. And then out of the select, I had four boxes. And one thing that struck me, for the price, you can't get Wemby autos, but man, the autos in there, they juiced them up in terms of like low numbered. They're like tie dyes were coming out, numbered to 5, but it was guys you've never heard of. Like you've never ever heard of this guy, and he played for the Lakers, or he played for the Nuggets, or it was Chris Murray, Keegan Murray's brother. He barely played last year. So yes, anything can happen, but for the 4 or 5 autos that came out of the 4 boxes, they were all trash. And they were making it sound great because it was like, oh, numbered to 5. It's like, of who? I've never heard of this guy. Like I've never even heard of this guy. And anything can happen in the NBA. Go back to what we were talking about at the very top with 2020, 2021 draft class. Guys emerged eventually, but still, I don't think the guy from the Nuggets is going to emerge. I venture to guess he was a second-round pick, and I don't think he played at all this year.
Well, I think it's worse are these vets that they put in. Like what's it? Free World Be Free, which I thought was a joke. This guy's this vet who he's like, who are these players? Like, whose contract? Like, what player is really getting a? He like waits for Panini to come. He can't. He's the first one to sign his damn autographs because he can't wait for his Panini check. Like it's Social Security check or something. It's just some of them should stop signing.
And that's very true. You wonder though, what kind of filler are they putting in there? Because most of them were rookies, but I do believe they're putting a lot more vets in there as well, especially Hall of Fame vets or even like old timers. Yep. I have pulled some really shitty autographs out of product that I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I forget one of the guys played for the Pacers, and I think he was like 75 years old right now. He played for the Pacers back in the 1960s. I've never heard of the guy. I don't even think he's in the Hall of Fame, but somehow I got his auto numbered to 99 out of a box like recently. I was like, who is this guy? Like, what? Why did you look him up to get like, did you just go down the, what would have been the white pages back in the day and just start crossing off names and say, do you want to do autos? We need autos. And they're like, well, $10 a pop. Sure. I'll do them. No problem. I'll give you 100. I'll give you 1,000.
So you didn't get rich breaking with your $50.
No, but I did okay. I was honestly happy with the select break. I got a De'Aaron Fox out of $2.99.
How did you pick your break?
Teal. What's that?
How did you pick the breaker and the break? What was? Because that app's got a lot of shit going on. So I'm just curious.
It does. So I went to the middle part of the app where it talks about you could actually I'll bring it up. You could look at, I think it was called spots, and within the spots, I filtered by lowest price, by NBA, and by Kings. And then I had a list of all down, and it was like, okay, so this is 1 box, this is 4 boxes, this is 8, this is a whole case. And I just looked at the ones that were I waited for one to go on special. I just kind of checked in on it periodically. When I saw one was on a discount, and I thought, okay, that's 4 boxes, sure, I'll buy it. And
okay, so you bet totally on price. You have no idea who the break was or the breaker or anything like that, right?
One of them was Badger Brakes, which I assume was Wisconsin, and the other one was Overtime Brakes, which I think is out of the California area, like Los Angeles, because that's where the product shipped
Did you
from.
watch the breaks too?
They replay it, so you can actually go to your profile, and they because it was a break you were in, you could actually look at the preview and go to the. I'm sure most people knew that, but I didn't know that. I actually so then I watched the break.
I don't know that.
See what
I did not know that.
And
so hold on, you have to explain this to me. In Fanatics Live, you can go into your breaks. There's a replay there. I did not know that. It used to not be there. That's new. That's relatively new.
Yeah, you can go to your profile, which is all the way on the side, and then under replays, all the breaks that you've bought into, it should give you the replay, and then you can go to which product you bought into. So if you click on this one, it'll show like the products they broke during their show, and then it said, "Hey, this was select the 4-box break. This is probably the one that was yours." So then you can skip to it, and then you can just kind of skip through it as quick as you want. And so I went ahead and watched it really quick because I was curious if I got anything. I was like, I have no idea if I got anything. And I got a Vazenkov die cut out of 49, which was pretty cool. It almost looked like a gold, but I think it was like a bronze or something. But it was a cool card, like an X-Fractor look. And then the De'Aaron Fox out of 299. I thought those were both decent cards, and a Colby Jones cracked ice out of a Crown Royale that was okay, and a bunch of other base cards of Fox and Vazenkov and Keegan Murray. So I was pretty happy overall. I mean,
that's cool.
It wasn't my money, right? It was money that was given to me. I was use it or lose it, right? So if I was putting my own money, would I've been happy with $50 to get what I got in return? Probably not. But since it was free, I was happy with that.
Yeah. So I'm not going to encourage you. My only tips are I do the same. I do get in those Fanatics Live breaks. I did one recently because I got a coupon for $25 simply because it said, you haven't used Fanatics Live in a long time. Why don't you come back? So they gave me free $25 and I bought a spot. And I don't even remember what happened with it because I don't think I saw the replay. And it was a random spot. And the way I picked it was I had $25. So I just looked for a random spot. I think it was football. And I got the best dollar per average. I think it was a $4 of something. So that's why I picked it. I have no idea who the breaker was. I have not watched it. I'll wait for it to come in the mail and see what I got, which I kind of like that. I like the surprise of getting a package and maybe it's somebody good.
Maybe you got something great in there. Yeah, that's one thing I kind of spoiled it, right? I would have been pleasantly surprised if that package shows up in the mailbox and I got 2 parallels of Kings players that were from the select break. And I didn't expect it, right? So that would have been like, oh, wow, I got a Fox parallel? That's pretty dang cool.
Or like a 1 of 1 or, some, low numbered, something really cool that'd be amazing. That'd be fun. So I just opened this box. I did get this.
From what I remember,
get the shiny Halliburton.
Oh, did you get the? Okay, so is that the? That's just a regular mosaic, or is it a green?
I think it's just a mosaic Halliburton, kind of like a silver prism Halliburton, right? Probably worth taking a look at grading. And then I would say I got these other cool cards. I got this green color match Tatum. I don't know if that's worth anything. Probably sell that on ComC.
Yeah, probably.
I'll probably go with that one. Robinson, some shiny card of his, and then a LeBron James Finals. These cards sometimes do well.
They do, yeah. Parallels.
Because I think this is his last championship, right? Finals MVP the previous year. That one might get graded. We'll see. It is crazy. So I will say, I got pummeled by graded cards. I got all of them back. Like they were all backed up, and all of a sudden they all popped out at the same time. And now I've got too many damn cards. I'm trying to sell them, and it's been annoying in a way.
I've got 2 orders there now.
Yep.
And they are taking forever. For me, when I was used to right around the February time frame, I was sending orders and they were coming back in 3 weeks. I've had something in the research and not R&D, but the research and identification for 3 weeks. And that just blows my mind. It blows my mind. Mine were like that too.
And then they move fast. I will tell you that mine, I had 3 and I sent 2 in together. One was a 22, same freaking card. It was the same Wemby card, 22. And then I sent in 50 cards within a week of each other. They sat in ID forever. They both popped out. And the 50 card beat the 22 card back. And then I had another one pop. They were the same thing. Sat in R&D for a while. So They're under for me. It's under 7 weeks. I'd say probably
Okay.
6 weeks. But I have a whole bunch of these damn base prisms right now that I need to sell, and they're hard to sell these off.
Are they
One at a
tens?
time on eBay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have a
that's
bunch
the
of
one.
tens.
That's the one drawback. A lot of times when you have a lot of inventory, you're
These
trying
are
to
not.
keep
These
them
are the
off one at a
nines.
time.
Here are little tens. I got a whole bunch of tens. So yeah, selling has been a little more challenging. I've always said that selling is harder than people realize. It's not
It
just
is.
simply posted on eBay. It sells immediately. You get cash. You take an auction. You take a risk. And I use DC 85, 87 or whatever to sell cards as well. But
Mm-hmm.
I've got so much inventory right now I've got to get through. And I wanted to submit more cards to PSA, but I'm afraid to submit more because I need to sell off what I have right now. And then we got all the shit
Yeah,
coming with new products coming. So
there are 2 or 3 more orders, knowing that they still have a special that I want to send in, and I kind of want the other cards back so I can sell some of them before I send it in. Although, I mean, I could kind of cash flow it and be just fine, but you just kind of like to have your card account balance at a certain level before you go in again and keep putting more money into the pot, more or less. But the the thing we got coming up this summer, I'm not going to go to the national. I don't intend to. Maybe I'll change my mind, but if it would be, it would be just for a day.
yeah,
I'll just probably make a day drive over there. And again, I think we have to see what the checklist is like for Chrome and like when it comes out. That might be worth making a drive over for a day just to try and get the silver packs if you're going to rip the product anyway. So
I agree.
that is something I'm keeping my eye out to. But again, I don't really have any intention to going over there right now.
I agree, but I also say before, like my budget was waiting for Chrome, and now they're going to drop all these other goddamn products between now and then, which I'm just not ready for that. So I have to figure
Yeah.
out what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to probably be, interested in chasing a box or two, or especially some of the football products coming out. You have chance shot at CJ Autos and stuff. So I would
Yeah.
admit,
Yeah.
man, I am excited. I'm one of those dumb hobbyists who is excited for new product. FOMOing out for it. So and everybody's talking about the license, non-license. And I'll say this too: I realize that these players are going to go down. I realize the card values are going to crash. I know all that, but I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
I enjoy the chase. It's fun.
I think that's what most people want out of if we're going to call it a hobby and not an industry, we are going to want it to be fun. It better
Yep.
be fun. We better be having a lot of fulfillment, enjoyment, sharing time with others, sharing time with your kids or your spouse or whatever. If like I bought my select mega boxes. I could have held them. I could have ripped them on my channel, and I was like, no, you know what? Gave them to my wife, and I said, here, see what you get. I don't. She gave me grief because I don't let her open cards sometimes. So I'm like, you know what? You can rip them. Let me know what you get. Hopefully, you get something good.
Yep.
I'll grade it if it's good. If not, better luck next time.
It's funny. You made a comment. I heard you on Step in the Box talking about ripping content, ripping product for your website or your channel. And I quit doing that. I mean, I have in the past, and sometimes I do, but I realize here's the reality. I don't really care. I love ripping it, whether I rip it on camera or not, doesn't make a difference. I will use a camera a lot just because I want it. If there's a big hit, I have it.
Yeah.
Whether I post it or not. And I'll also say this too, just like a lot of other people, I'm only going to post the positive shit. I rip through a lot of stuff where I don't. I don't need to listen to somebody bitch at me about, oh, you're an idiot, blah, 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 blah. I have a system. I like my system. I'm fine with it. So there is some, and I like some hiding stuff, but there's some discretion I take in my privacy. It's funny. I posted a PSA reveal video. I think I did it on Instagram or maybe on Card Hunter channel. And it was just all 9s and below. But I set it up that way. I took all the cards, I took all the 10s out, and I just did it as a PSA reveal. And someone's like, oh, that must have sucked. You got slaughtered. I'm like, yeah, I got slaughtered. I don't care. You think I got slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't care what people think about the content. A lot of times, and you also get scrutinized. Shit, if you take a card, and God forbid if I wipe a hair off it, I'm trimming the damn card now. You know what I'm saying? So, fuck people.
Yeah, I tell you what, I loved your video the other day talking about, and I think he does it sometimes just because he wants the viewers. But to call Neo Cards and Comics a card trimmer, was laughable. I'm like,
Yeah.
get the hell out of here. There's no way. There's no way.
And he seems
Like, that
hell
card's not
bent on
even
that.
worth trimming. To be honest, there's no way it's even worth trimming the card.
Well, at the first video he made, I thought he was doing it for just to get hype. People do that, but as he keeps with it, I'm like, I don't know what to say, dude. I guess again, what it does prove to me, and I've said this before, to some people, this is a conviction. It's like a religion, like they're Catholic or they're a Protestant or they're Baptist. For other people, it's just a hobby. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reality. It's so subjective. Grading is subjective, man. It really is. It's magic. It's wizard. There's no rules. There's no laws. I also thought it was interesting. I'd love to hear more about his FBI conversation. I'm not knocking that, but I really have a hard time believing that the FBI would do something about that. Like, I wish they would. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish they would get involved if something happened like that. But I think a lot would have to happen for them to have to get involved.
Oh, sure. I mean, it would have to be big business, right? They'd have to catch some breaker somewhere, like a celebrity breaker or something, doing something to have it be high profile. There's no way they're going to go after somebody for stuff like that. Like, I just think that.
Yeah. What I've been told is that you've got to do something like it's tax evasion, right? If you're running a big business and not paying your taxes, they're more likely to come after that. If you're doing counterfeiting, right? So autographs are protected under law. So if you're screwing with autographs, you're going to get screwed with. But if you're shining a card, you're taking a card to make it super shiny so that a grader gives you a better grade, and you're like, ha, I won. I don't think the FBI is going to give a shit. They're like, well, I guess you did win, sir. You got a 10. Great. Good luck with that.
Maybe there's a parallel to like coins or other like high priced
coins are currency, though, and altering them is protected. Yeah. And that's another thing. People make those jumps. Well, it's coins. I'm like, that's not. If from a cardboard, it's just for cardboard. No one at all cares about this except for the people in the community who care about it. It's such a weird thing. It's like it's its own currency in our community, but outside it has zero value. And I don't know. It's just a interesting paradox.
It is true. If you took a person that doesn't know it and you went door to door or something and you said, I think Jeff's done that before where he's done you want $20, you want this card, right? And then he's like, well, I'll take the card. And he's like, well, that's a great choice because it's a $30 card. It was $20. And it's like, well, I bet I went to every house in my neighborhood. I don't know how many people would take the card.
Yeah. And also this too, once you have the card, once the guy goes, oh, great, you took a $30 card. Now go get $30 with it. Go turn that card around that you turn. Like the reality is you should have taken the $20 because the 20 is cash. The $30 card is a card that you have to find somebody who's going to pay you $30 for that. Whether you pay fees or not, that finding of that person is challenging. You got to trust them. If you know nothing about cards at all, think about that too. Do you really want to meet a guy in a parking lot or make a transaction? No. So it's just I find it interesting how we make it so easy. Like I was listening to somebody again talk about they hate hearing the market cap. I'm the same way. I hate hearing people talk about market cap of a card. Cards don't have market caps. Just because you sold one for $500 does not mean every one is worth $500. And you set a false precedent in people's head going, well, Joe just bought one for $500. That means mine's worth $5. No, it's not, man. It means Joe found an idiot. You got to find one too.
Well, you mentioned about selling cards in the PSA 10s and trying to liquidate those. The same thing applies there. And that's what you learn when you have that many is if you tried to get the same price over and over again for that stack of cards, you're not going to, it's likely not going to happen. Every single one after that's going to be slightly lower than the first one. And I learned that a little bit on the IndyCar product that I opened a while ago. I started selling complete sets and I was selling them for $40. I now have to sell sets for $20 because I have too many of them. And I'm happy to sell them for $20, but I can't, they're not a $40, it's not a $40 set anymore. It's $20. So, but I'd rather have the $20 than keep the set.
Yep.
I kept my 3 sets
and
whatever. I'm not buying any more.
There are very few cards. There's very few cards that will increase over value. There are some that will, right? But in overall, you're just driving the market down. You do find some stability in it. Like it's not going to go to zero for some reason. Whatever it is, these cards don't go to zero. I think it's interesting. Here's a quick question on here. After Optic Football and Select Basketball, were the popular retail releases to come out in the following months? So if you're staying with the current classes, I think Mosaic Football would do a retail, and I think Mosaic
I
Basketball
think
hasn't
it
come
came.
out. Did they?
Mosaic football came out a while ago. The CJ Stroud class.
So we're done with football.
I think we're done with football. Yes.
Did you find any Optic in the wild?
I did not.
Did you find Optic
I didn't
football?
look.
Yeah, me either.
I didn't really look, but I just know by me. I don't know if it is like this by you. I see so many people post videos of like they go to their Meijer or Walmart or wherever, and it's just stocked. I never get that. Never.
Yeah.
And I go to my Target. Like the last time I went to Target, I think I was there maybe a month ago. It was wrecked. It was like pandemic times. There's just a bunch of crap on the shelf. I'm like, was he even here this week? I don't even think he was here. Because I went on a Monday. He usually goes on a Monday. And I'm like, there's literally nothing. So
mine is never perfect. There are spots where I will find I hit a restock and I'll find product that's there. I mean, I've walked into some stuff, but it's always. I mean, I'm in the Northern Virginia, DC area, so I think it's a lot of traction, a lot of people here. So yeah, my retail's not great. It's not, and I don't hustle as much as I used to either. I used to know when the drops are going on and stuff like that. I don't deal with it as much. I walk by more, saying to myself, "God, I hope it's not here. God, I hope it's not here. God, I hope it's not here," just so I don't have to buy it.
Yeah. Well, there is that truth too. Or when they're putting it on Target's website, God, I hope I don't have to be tempted by this to buy it.
And I'll say this too. I mean, what I mean by that is I would still, and this is me, I would rather buy the team in a break than buy the box. So when I see like a couple $100 in megas, I'm like, shit, I don't want to pick those up because I could buy the Texans in like a 30-box break, but I often buy the damn boxes in the store if they're there. And it is what it is. Select Football is one that's coming. That's a good example of one. But I will say what's gonna be interesting is that we're gonna run into those premium products coming out, and there's no premium autographs to support that. Like, what's gonna happen with Immaculate and Noir?
I think we lost Ziggy. Either that or he lost me. I don't really know. Hopefully he comes back. I'll try to keep everybody occupied for now, unless the stream shuts down. But for those who are new to Ziggy's channel, I'm John from ERB. I am a variety channel. I started this channel about 2 years ago, eating, ripping, and betting. Ripping is a lot of the channel, but we do some betting. We do some eating. We're doing eating contests coming up. We're going to do a betting video for the Indy 500 coming up. Hopefully that one will go well. I won the last 2 Indy 500 bets that I placed for Marcus Ericsson and Joe Newgarden. This year, probably going to bet on a couple drivers. I don't want to give any secrets yet. I got to wait till carb day. But anyway, I have no idea if Ziggy's going to come back. I have no idea if I'm backstage, front stage. I don't know where he went. So I don't know if we're calling it a day or what. But I am happy you guys were all able to join our live stream. And let me just double check and see. Ziggy says lost connection. Okay. I think I don't know when he's going to be back. He said he lost connection. I have no idea if you guys are still seeing this or not. Oh, I think he's back.
Hello, sorry about that.
I was trying to keep the audience occupied talking about betting videos coming up for my channel. So I was just rambling there for a couple minutes, but because we got the Indy 500 coming up weekend.
I'm having some more problems here. My internet's dropping here. Can you still hear me or no? You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. It was weird. I was talking, I went completely black. I thought my computer's gonna restart. I did send you an Instagram, but I guess it's okay now. Okay.
That was the first thing I checked.
Anyway.
I don't know if any of the audience caught what I was saying, but
Anyway, so other releases. I have no real interest in those other autographs. I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. I'm curious to see what will happen with Panini. I'm also curious to see what's going to happen with Panini and Caitlin Clark. Like, I got to assume they got to drop some product out soon, regardless of how she's playing or not. I still think it's hot. They got to take advantage of that. Like, is Prism on the radar there? When are they dropping that? I hope they're not waiting until next year or the fall or something.
I hope not. They need to do it quickly on that one. The Fever have started out of the gate here really bad. They had a tight game last night, but they lost, and they got trounced two games in a row, I think, by the Liberty. She has looked a little bit out of sorts, although she does make some dazzling Steph Curry like shots practically from the logo, which is amazing. But everybody needs to keep in mind with Caitlin Clark, she literally just came out of college like 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Like, they had no off season at all. They went literally from the draft right into playing, and she's had no practice time with this team at all. No off season whatsoever. So you got to give it time. It's going to take time.
I agree.
And anybody who says, "Oh my God, Caitlin Clark, the ratings aren't there, blah blah blah, she sucks," nah, don't say that yet. It's way too early. It's going to take at least an entire season to see what happens. Steph Curry didn't do jack squat in his rookie year. Nothing.
No, I agree.
He made a couple
there are a lot of haters.
dazzling threes, but he really didn't do anything great until about year 5. So you got to give it time.
Yeah. And like I said, I'd like to see Panini do something with it. Get some product out this summer. I'd like to see Prism. And I think they have to do something. I mean, they keep getting hit left and right. They lost the soccer stickers contract. They're losing these other autographs. It's gonna be interesting to see what the announcement is with who's exclusive as far as quarterbacks. Like, we assume that there's not gonna be any or many in next year's product. It's just interesting times. I tell you too, another thing. You heard the whole GameStop thing, right? Where GameStop's selling PSA slabs.
Yeah.
I think PSA. I think GameStop gets bought by Fanatics or PSA.
That's a hot take.
Right?
It definitely would be interesting.
Because you have a uniform. Think about it. If I'm Fanatics, you have a uniformed LCS that you could put into so many locations. It's cookie cutter the way you want it, right?
That's true.
I think, and to tell you what, man, it would piss off some local card stores. But at the same time, I think local card store owners have to be furious as it is. Like, if I'm a local card store owner, right now, the only people getting allocation are the big guys like David Adams, Blowout, Steel City, or the popular guys like CC2, Jeff Wilson, or whoever. Like, it doesn't seem like just work your regular patch. It paid off anymore for those guys. So that, I don't know. I think it's brutal.
I agree. I think to some extent the allocation that'll go to hobby shops. I mean, I know my hobby shop used to have a newsletter that came out. This was years ago, and they used to offer some pretty competitive pricing on product when it first came out. Lately, I don't know what kind of allocation they're getting. I'm sure it's gone down a little bit because they used to have a really healthy allocation and a decent price. Like Platinum Anniversary right now, which just comes out tomorrow. I believe my hobby shop has it for like $20 over retail price. And I'm like, nobody's going to buy that. Yeah. Like, literally nobody. So if you're Fanatics, like, your website is charging less than you're allowing my hobby shop to sell it for. That's not going to help my hobby shop. That's going to help you.
Yeah, and that seems weird to me that would be set that way, But there's definitely something going on there.
They want to do what's right for the hobby shop and the mom and pop shop. They really don't, because they can sell anything that a hobby shop gets on the website.
Yep.
And they can sell it at whatever price they want and undercut the hobby shops and take all that business away. And then the hobby shop will get frustrated. And then they'll be like, I don't want this product. Why do I want this product? Because nobody's going to buy it. And then they'll get the allocation taken away. And then it's going to go to other people. And it's just...
Well, you saw what happened. They took the allocation away from Southern, I think it was Southern Hobby or whatever, the distributor. Some other distributor was cut off this week, where they had pre-sold Bowman to some hobbies, to some stores, and when they went to get their allocation, said, "Hey, we never got it. Topps never shipped us our product. We've been cut off."
Wow.
I think it's the group that Beckett bought, Peachtree or whatever, or Southern.
Okay.
I forget which one it was. There's an article. I don't want to misquote it, but whichever one that Beckett bought got cut off this week. Like, what was it last week? Last year it was Go GTS. They lost their distribution. Now there's another guy who's just lost it. So
Well, and Fanatics doesn't need it, right? They got plenty of distribution in their own warehouse and through their own network of selling jerseys and hoodies and everything else under the sun, under that other umbrella for years and years and years. And they're just like I said before, I think they're just in it for themselves.
is the hobby better when Panini is gone and Fanatics has all the license? Like he's saying here, James says, Fanatics is going to kill it when Panini's out of the picture. Is the hobby better in 2028?
People like Jeff will say that. Like he made a post saying, I think it's better for consumers. I think time will tell. If the prices go up or prices on basketball product once Panini's out of the picture are the same price as Panini was charging or a very, very similar price, then it's going to be, well, why did we think this would be a great thing? You're just filling your own bank account. And consumers still have the choice. You go buy those cards on the aftermarket or whatever. You can still go buy those cards and they'll probably be really cheap. But don't buy the boxes, don't buy into the breaks unless the price is right. So
see, my thought is, I do think what people are missing here, and everybody knows this, sports cards are cyclical. And I'm not talking year to year. We're talking 10-year, 20-year, generationally cyclical. And there are times in the hobby of great downturn where there's no interest or the products just don't sell, whether it's because of the rookie class or there's a strike in baseball, whatever that might be. There's uncontrollables that happen. Will Fanatics be able to stomach that when it happens? If they have the full licenses and they're expecting $250 million in revenue and they miss their quarter because, hey, baseball had a strike or the NBA, had whatever it might be, I personally think that's when they look at this business and go, nope, and they spit it out. And what they will keep, in my opinion, is they're going to keep control of the players and their intellectual property and their autographs and their signings. I think that's what they've always been in control of. But I do think the card market will struggle with them because eventually, like I said, I think they're doing everything wrong in many ways. Everything now is a chase. Everything. Like Topps Now, the reason Topps Now is so exciting, why are people buying Topps Now? Because it's a goddamn lottery. Like, why do people buy 100-something thousand of those Wimby cards? Because somebody won a couple $1,000s. I don't even know what the 1-on-1 will go for, but it's just they've turned everything into that. So I don't know, man. I'm concerned, but I'm enjoying it. Like I'm addicted to it.
I can't tell you the last time I myself bought something on the Topps website. It's been.
I buy all the time. I buy a lot.
I haven't bought anything. Probably, I think my wife bought some wacky package blasters. She bought one of them, and they were pretty juicy. It's maybe not for everybody, but she likes it. That was the last thing we bought.
I'm a Montgomery member, so I buy Montgomery products. I'm kind of pulled into that already. I did chase the draft night autos. I did not go after the first dude, $750 I said no to. But I did try to get Jalen, and I missed that one. But I did get the Drake May autograph for $300. So I did chase that, and I do chase the Topps Now stuff. If certain ones, I will definitely buy the 5-packs. I bought the LeBron ones, and my guess there is I'll go ahead and grade them and sell them. And will I get my money back? I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm definitely like I said, another part I like about this is that you get Topps Now points. So you get like $10, $20 off your buy.
Yeah.
So it is a little addictive. Another thing I've told you about too is I love Fanatics gambling, Fanatics Live, because you win Fanatics dollars, which you can use to buy Fanatics products like jerseys or boxes or whatever. And in the future, I can only imagine I'll be able to use that to go to Fanatics Live to buy breaks, right? Fanatics gambling, Fanatics breaks.
Yeah, so I would bet they're always going to find a way to create liquidity there, and I think that's across the board. Even when Panini's out of the picture, they're going to have to continue to do that, no matter what product is out there. Is liquidity. You cannot rely on hype and marketing, and players have to play and they have to play well, but also they need an incentive there for people to keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
It's easier to them.
It's easier now than ever before to do that. I mean, liquidity now from 2020, I will say this. If you were in the hobby before 2020, it was a lot harder hobby to navigate as far as you got a card, found a card, had a big card, and how you sold it. Today in 2020, there's a ton of different ways. Like to me, I'll be honest, you're doing PSA. Have you gotten to the point where you get to pick whether you want to send to the vault or not? I mean, you get that option. I think after when it goes to grading, right before they give you the grades themselves, you get to select. And even once the grades come, you get another day as well. And I've already been sending cards over the vault because to me that's gonna be awesome. When I can just send them all, like I would have loved to send that whole order of I think it was 22 the same card to the vault. And I thought about it, but I figured they could be stuck there for months. I wanted them here to get sell them, but in the future, that's it, man. Click, send them there, send them on eBay. I get cash within a week, maybe a 7-day auction. So,
and all that, so we can do more of it, right?
Yep. Like I call it surfing. It really is. I mean, it's a chase to me. And every now and then you get a good souvenir on the chase.
Ultimately, you're going to need great draft classes coming up. You're going to need the 2020 draft class all over again with another Halliburton or Ant-Man situation next year or the year after that. You're going to have that over and over and over again to keep that liquidity going. Otherwise, if it becomes a little bit dry for a while, it won't. It'll dry up a little bit.
It looks dry in the future too. If you look forward, you're looking 2 years out in our draft classes. NBA doesn't have anybody sexy right now. I don't know about baseball.
Yeah,
football
NBA
does not really. You have this class right now, but there's just not. And right now too, we're enjoying some really great rookie classes. So I see a big fall off, which is why I think it's gonna be interesting because Topps is going to get those licenses fully licensed with bad rookie classes, or potentially bad rookie classes.
And that's a great point. Your timing is everything, right? So if they would have come out last year with CJ Stroud licensed stuff, it would have been so popular, unbelievably popular. Or Wemby stuff. It's already popular with the unlicensed stuff, but it would have been even more popular if it was licensed. So they really missed the boat on that one when generational talents come along and then they don't come along for a while. It's going to be a while before we get another Wemby or LeBron or something like that. It's not going to happen every year. And it's not going to happen every 2 or 3 years. It might be 5 or 6, 7, 8, heck, 10 years in between. So you just never know.
Yeah, in fact, it's funny. 10 years from now, we're talking about how great the products were from 2024 before Panini. Remember when Panini was in the game, man? It was great. Panini had these great products. Like, I cannot wait for that day. I'm going to laugh. When you see content creators 5 years from now talking how great Panini was, that is when you're going to pinch yourself and go, what the hell happened to the hobby?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think in the meantime, everybody can still have fun, and that's hobby. You know, it's for some it's an industry, and for some it's a hobby.
Yeah.
For me,
and it could be both.
It's a hobby.
Yeah. For me, it's definitely a hobby for me. Like I have a full-time job, and this is in a strange, weird way is a way to break away from the chaos I have in my life. Like, because when I come here and as chaotic as shit gets here, as dramatic as stuff gets, as passionate, I always remind myself, I kind of laugh and go, dude, it's just cards. It really is. It's just cards. And it's amazing to see how many people get caught up in it. And if you ever need that reality check as a card person, go talk to somebody who knows absolutely nothing about cards in your family and tell them how the drama's going on. Like, oh man, there's this one guy, he's been trimming cards. He soaks these cards. And your person's going to look at you like, really? I don't understand. What's the deal here, man? You know, it's just, that's what I love about it. It reminds me how it is a hobby. And I don't know, I guess I appreciate it.
Well, you know, we started the video talking about like, why did I change my name to formerly ERB? So one of the things I've been thinking about a while ago is I wanted to make a parody channel of all the funny things that you could make content on, of just fake things, not fake deals or anything like that, but just fake things of talking about like cards as if it was like life. And it was like, this is amazing, you know, this thing, and look at this, and it's like, guys, at the end, it's just a cardboard. It's cardboard. There's a picture on it. What?
I've got a couple of great parody ideas, man. I think I told you my one for Gamblers Anonymous. Did I tell you this one? So you have a breaker, right? He's sitting there, we're getting a break going, and we're trying to fill the last team. Man, we need someone to buy the Atlanta Hawks. Come on, someone buy the Atlanta Hawks in a flawless break. It's only $4,000. And no one fills. You go, hold on a second. Then you run down to the Gamblers Anonymous. You sit down, you grab a cup of coffee, and you're talking to all these gamblers and talking about their addiction. You go, yeah, man, I used to have a terrible gambling addiction until I found the hobby. And now I use sports cards as a way to get away from gambling. Anybody want to fill this break?
Do stuff like that.
I mean, that's perfect.
It's fun. That would be fun content. That's entertaining. And it's just totally like playing a spoof on what it actually is. If you put it in literal terms, you're caring about the centering on this card or the juice or whatever. And it's like, it's a piece of cardboard. Like, you don't have to buy it. Nobody's forcing you to buy it.
It amazes me. It amazes me when people pay for it. Like the other skit I want to do is I want to do two graders who are talking. They're going to have hoods on, right? They're not going to show their faces. We're going to be anonymous. And we're going to argue back and forth about the grade of a card and start throwing spells at each other. Fireball, no, shield of ice. Until one wizard wins. And that is how your damn card becomes a PSA 9.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much you could poke fun of the hobby about.
Yeah, I think for me, reality hits home, and you just want to have fun, right? Yep. And so whether you're having fun making ERB stuff or whether you're making other stuff, I think a lot about that right now. I did need a break, and yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at.
I'll kind of close on this too. I'll say, I think the reality is we all want to have fun, and we just not want to know we're not getting fucked. You know what I mean? Like, we just want to know we're having a good time. We didn't spend $1,000 for the wrong. Oh, you bought that product, you idiot. There's nothing in there good. You want to just know you're having a good time and no one's taking advantage of you. And I think that's a good thing. When you find those communities in the hobby, you do have a good time with people like-minded. There's a lot of fun. Just that you run into people all the time who take advantage of that. And there's just more stories of that, In fact, did you listen? Last thing, I don't want to talk too long because I got to get downstairs. I promised an hour tonight. Did you listen to Jeremy Lee's video about him buying the stolen items and what happened with that?
No. I think I heard about that, but
it's a really good video, and I recommend everybody listen to this. So basically, Jeremy Lee was at an event. He bought some items at a card show. Turns out the cards were stolen. He knew the owner. And he spoke to the police. It turns out the guy sold them to him. Did not know they were stolen. Right? He bought them somebody, and he talked about the whole chain of custody and tracking things down. And what I'll say, sadly, is nothing's changed. I mean, absolutely nothing has changed. Nothing is changing, really. There is a database that's being formed for tracking stolen cards. But again, it really comes down. Like, in fact, here's one thing Jeremy mentioned is that if you have stolen, it's illegal to buy stolen. Now, hold on. Let me say this first of all. These are Canadian laws. I assume American laws are similar, but it's illegal to buy stolen goods. If you know the items are stolen and you buy them, that's against the law. Now, if you own stolen goods and you do not know, it's not against the law. But once you have knowledge of stolen items, you are therefore to return them to either law enforcement or the original owners. Possessing them is a crime. So this brings me to my next question. There are a lot of stories here in the U.S. people having cards that are stolen. Why has nothing happened? Like, I don't, what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't seem like there's any real punishment in the hobby, and I hope something changes. And I don't know, it's a really good story. I'll tell you that. Listen to Jeremy Lee's story. A lot of people are involved, and I would say, I guess something was done because people were nice, not because they caught the bad guy, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. And yeah, I hope I never bought a stolen card. I don't think I did.
Yeah, this is another one. A lot of washing money. It absolutely is. And again, I say this all the time. Repacks are the number one way to do it. I mean, if you have it's so easy to move cards in a repack because no one's paying attention. They want the card. They want cash. And yeah, a lot of stuff is laundered that way. I'm going to go ahead and close up because, like I said, I'm going a little bit over time, man. This has been great talking with you, catching up again. I also love the show you guys do. If you guys don't follow ERB Sports, also follow Step in the Box. I love the baseball stuff you guys talk about. Really do. You guys have the best baseball insight out there. And again, appreciate you being here. We'll see you again in a few weeks. And we'll talk later on about other shows and stuff coming up. I'm going to do Fanatics Live, so we'll talk about that in the future.
We can definitely talk more about that. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more experience with it by then.
And maybe you'll be a winner too, have a little cash prize from a eating contest, right? So we'll see. Keep us posted, man.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for anything between 4th and 6th. That's where I'm thinking I might have a chance.
Awesome. Thanks again, John. Thanks everybody for watching, guys. Have a great night. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm going to end this.